Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This evening we have Amogha Prabhuji who will be reciting in Sanskrit and he will also be facilitating. So you'll have a double whammy today. So he'll be reciting and then Usha Mataji will be also be accompanying him and she'll be reading English translation. They will be reciting from Canto 3, Chapter 22, verse 24 to 39. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. प्रत्तां तु हितरं सम्राट् सदृक्षाय गतव्यतहम् उपगुह्य च बाहुभ्यम् औत्कञ्चो उन्मदिताशयः
Sorry, translation. Thus relieved of his responsibility by handing over his daughter to a suitable man, Swayambhuva Manu. His mind, agitated by feelings of separation, embraced his affectionate daughter with both his arms.
अशक्नुवन् तद्विरहं मुञ्चन् बाष्पकलामुहुः आसिञ्चदम्ब वत्सेति नेत्रोदैः दुहितुः शिखाः
The emperor was unable to bear the separation of his daughter. Therefore tears poured from his eyes again and again, drenching his daughter's head as cried, "My dear mother, my dear daughter."
आमन्त्रितं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञातः सहानुगः प्रतस्थिरतमारुह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः उभयोरुषिकुल्यायाः सरस्वत्याः सुरोदसौः ऋषीणाम् उपशान्तानां पश्यन्नाश्रमसम्पदः
After asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seas, beautiful hermitages on both the charming banks of the Saraswati, the river so agreeable to saintly persons.
तम् अयान्तम् अभिप्रेत्य ब्रह्मवर्तात् प्रजापतिम् गीतसंस्तुतिवादित्रैः प्रत्यदेयुः प्रहर्षिताः
Overjoyed to know of his arrival, his subjects came forth from Brahmavrata to greet their returning lord with songs, prayers, and musical instruments.
वर्ष्मती नाम पुरी सर्वसम्पत्समन्विता न्यपतन् यत्र रोमाणि यज्ञस्याङ्गं विदुन्वतः कुशाः काशास्त एवासन् शश्वद्धरितवर्चसः ऋषयो यैः पराभाव्य यज्ञाग्नान् यज्ञमीजिरे
The city of Brahismati, rich in all kinds of wealth, was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Bod. As he shook his body, this very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen kusha grass and khasha, another kind of grass used for mats, by means of which the sages worshipped Lord Vishnu after defeating the demons who had interfered with the performances of their sacrifices.
कुशकाशमयं बर्हिः आस्तीर्य भगवान् मनुः अयजद् यज्ञपुरुषं लब्धास्थानं यतो भुवम्.
Manu spread a seat of kusas and kasas and worshipped the Lord, the personality of Godhead, by whose grace he had obtained the rule of the terrestrial globe.
बर्ह्मतीं नाम विभुर्यां निर्विश्य समावसत् तस्यां प्रविष्टो भवनं तापत्रयविनाशनम्.
Having entered the city of Barismati, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his place, which was filled with an atmosphere that eradicated the three miseries of material existence.
सभार्यः सप्रजकामान् बुभुजे अन्य अविरोधतः सङ्गीयमानससत्कीर्तिः सस्त्रीभिः सुरगायकैः प्रतिवोषेषु अनुबद्धेन हृदा शृण्वन् हरेः कथाः.
Emperor Swayambhu Manu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfilled his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles contrary to the process of religion. Celestial musicians and their wives sang in chorus about the pure reputation of the emperor, and early in the morning every day he used to listen to the pastime of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a loving heart.
निष्णातं योगमायासु मुनिं स्वायम्भुवं मनुं यद्दापृंहितुं भोगाः न सेकुः भगवत्परम्.
Thus Swayambhu Manu was saintly king. Although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna consciousness atmosphere.
अयातयामाः तस्यासन् यामाः स्वान्तरयापनाः शृणुतोऽध्यायितो विष्णोः कुर्वतो ब्रुवतः कथाः.
Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life, consisting of a Manvantara era, was not spent in vain, since he ever engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord.
स एवं स्वान्तरं निन्ये युगानाम् एकसप्ततिं वासुदेवप्रसङ्गेन परिभूता गतित्रयः.
He passed his time, which lasted 71 cycle of the four ages, 71 times 4 times 30, sorry,
Yeah,
30,
4.32 million years.
yeah, 4.32 million years, always thinking of Vasudeva and always engaged in matters regarding Vasudeva. Thus, he transcended the three destinations.
शरीरमानस दिव्याः वैयाशये च मानुषाः भौतिकाश्च कथं क्लेशा बाधन्ते हरिसंश्रयम्.
Therefore, O Vidura, how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, the mind, nature, and other men and living creatures?
यः पृष्टो मुनिभिः प्राह धर्मान् नानाविधान् शुभान् नृणां वर्णाश्रमाणां च सर्वभूताहितः सदा.
In reply to questions asked by certain sages, he, Swayambhu Manu, out of compassion for all living entities, taught the diverse sacred duties of man in general and the different varnas and asramas.
एतत् आदिराजस्य मनोश्चरितम् अद्भुतं वर्णितं वर्णनीयश्च तदपत्योदयं शृणु.
I have spoken to you of the wonderful character of Swayambhu Manu, the original king, whose reputation is worthy of description. Please hear as I speak of the flourishing of his uh, daugh- uh, flourishing of his daughter Devahuti.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare. Beautiful translations, beautiful recitations, I should say, Prabhuji and Mataji. Very nice. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so we shall enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we start again to Bhagavatam Katha, we shall offer our obeisances to our Acharyas, Gurus, and Srila Prabhupada, all Vaishnavas, Radharani, Krishna, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and everyone else. Om. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांशाम्. हे कृष्ण करुणसिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते. तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिन् इति नामिने. नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. शृणुतं स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्त्वय्य भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृसतां. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. एते चांशकलाः पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रारिव्याकुलं लोकं मृडयन्ति युगे युगे. इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्मसंहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषिः निःश्रेयसाय लोकधन्यं स्वस्ते नमः. कृष्णे स्वदामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह खलु न शुश्रूषामेषा पुराणर्को अधिनोदितः. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये। अति विश्वेश विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्तिस्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशम् इमं चिन्तिदुःखं पाणिषु विष्णुषुं त्वयि मेनन्ये विषयामतिर्मदिपदि असकृत् प्रतिमुद्वाहतर्धगङ्ग्यौ भूमुदन्वती श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सख विष्णु शिवानिध्रुग्राजन्यवंशिदहनानपवर्गवीर्य गोविन्द गोद्विजसुरार्तहरावतार योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते। तुलयामलवेनापि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भुवं भगवत्सङ्गीसङ्गस्य मज्जानं किमुताशिषः पुनश्च भूयात् भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गश तदाश्रयेषु महस्तुयां यामुपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्रस्य सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे बालोऽपि यदनुग्रहात् तरेणानमथग्राह व्याप्तं सिद्धान्तसागरं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे यत्पादाश्रीविरितः सङ्गृणात् आकरव्रातात् अज्ञः सिद्धान्तसन्मनीन्। ॐ नमो भगवते राधा गोविन्दाय नमः। Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you for kindly waiting. Okay, I shall share my screen and also thank you for giving this opportunity to speak a few words on Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam. तरुर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादं द्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. So it is for the rasikas who are very eager to drink the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam through their ear holes. Okay, so in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the third canto, chapter 22, the summary. So this chapter, it describes different sections. It is actually the conversations between Swayambhu Manu and Kardama Prajapati. So with regards to the Devhuti's marriage and also some important topics they discuss, like discuss in the sense in the previous chapter, Kardama Muni, he praises and he also stresses the responsibilities of a Kshatriya. And later on in this chapter, in the second 22 chapter, Swayambhu Manu, he describes the qualities of the Brahmanas and also how Lord created the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas for their cooperation. So they protect each other, so Lord will also protect everyone, both of them. And then after saying the descriptions and also he says that about Devhuti. I have actually come here with regards to my daughter, and she is the sister of Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So I'm now a bit anxiety with regards to my daughter's marriage. So she has been always thinking of you because she has heard about you from Narada Muni, and she has decided that to get married only you. So I have also heard that you are also looking for a wife, and then it is now appropriate for you to accept my daughter. And then whenever anything comes on its own to a person, even a person who is completely detached, but he cannot reject that objective, reject that object. Likewise, but when actually a person is looking for something to getting married, when the bride itself coming to him, if he rejects, and then later on he may just if he doesn't get any wife later on, it will be shameful to him. Likewise, Swayambhu Manu, he is describing, and then later on, Kardama Prajapati, he after hearing the plea of Swayambhu Manu, he accepts the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, Devhuti, and also glorifies her beauty. And then he mentions that our marriage is going to happen. That part it happens, and later on, Swayambhu Manu, after handovering the devotee to Kadama Prajapati, and then he leaves, and then the Swayambhu Manu's wife Satarupa, she gives so many ornaments to her daughter, so as a bit affection on her daughter. And then when Swayambhu Manu comes from that ashrama, he passed through so many of hermitages, ashramas, like that. At that time, he sees so much of opulences of mm, the sages, but the pleasant ashramas, and so many sacrifices are happening here and there. So, likewise, that beauty. And then once he comes home to his kingdom, there all his subjects will receive him very nicely. And later on, Swayambhu Munu enters into a palace where he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead with Kushagras, Kashagras, and then engages himself in the devotional services like the hearing, and then along with his wife and children every day without any missing of any Mangalacharana, hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam like that. He engages himself. Likewise, he continued to live for 71 yoga cycles. One yoga cycle is 4.32 million years. 1.4 to 4.32 million years. So one Kali Yuga is of 432,000 years. If you multiply by 2, that is the number of years of Dwapar Yuga. If we multiply by 3, then it will be Treta Yuga. If we multiply it by 4, it will become Satya Yuga number of years. So totally it is 4.32, 432,000 years multiplied by 10. That is one Yuga. Then one Mahayuga. That is one Mahayuga. Likewise, 71 Mahayugas. This Swayambhu Manu, he has been engaging himself in the devotional service. And then later on, he gives so many instructions to the other sages as well by when they have inquired. So this is the topic, and we are going to discuss. But what it means to us. So here, Swayambhu Manu, he is the Grihastha. And Kadama Prajapati, he is also Grihastha. Both are Grihasthas. And how the relationships happens, and how the responsibility at what point of time, and how they spend the rest of the time, and what are the different kinds of intricacies within their conversations and dharma. So this we could see in this chapter as a summary. This is what a brief summary I just shared, and we shall see. So what in a little bit of it along with intricacies as well. So this is applicable for all the Grihasthas who are in the Grihastha ashrama, who has to act as with a matter of duty. Okay, I'll take out the purport and the synonyms as well, so that I will see the verses and the translations. So here Maitreya Muni is describing that whenever one person is praising other person, so here Kadama Prajapati is praising Swayambhu Manu by stressing that the kings, they will wander in this kingdom to protect their subjects. So and then he glorifies, he is representative of Vishnu. योर्क इंदु अग्नि इंद्रवायूनां यमधर्म प्रचेतसां रूपाणि स्थान आतस्ते तस्मै शुक्लायते नमः. Suklaite Namaha. He is the representative of Vishnu. He occupied the positions of Arka, Indu, Agni, Indra, Vayu, and Yamadharma, Prachetasam, and all those positions, and then he will rule his kingdom to protect his subjects for that purpose. So that's why he is representative of Vishnu. After hearing those words from Kadama Muni, Swayambhu Manu bit shy, feeling shy. And then he started responding to Kadama Prajapati. So evam avsputa ashesha guna karmo dhayo munim savreed ivatam samrad upadatam uvachaham. Savreda, he was a bit shy, feeling modesty. And then he started speaking to Kadama Prajapati, likewise Maitreya saying. And then Manu, he's saying that, oh Kadama Prajapati, so Lord Brahma, he has created all the Brahmanas, in order to expand himself, in the Vedic knowledge, um, and also tapasya and chandom, he created the Brahmanas. Likewise, he is addressing Brahma asurja subhakoso yushmanatma paripsaya chandomaya tapo vidya yoga yuktan alampatan. So to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you, O the Brahmanas, who are all full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are ours to sense gratification. Brahmanas means opposite to Brahmana is a Krupana who wanted to enjoy his results of his activities. He is called Krupana. And whereas Brahmana, he lives simple life, and then he engages himself in the devotional service, controlling the senses, controlling the speech, and controlling the mind, and he is always clean. So, and he engages himself in the study of the Vedas, and likewise he serves the society also, giving the knowledge. Okay, these are all the different qualities of the Brahmana. And then further, he also mentions that in order to protect the Brahmanas, Lord Brahma has created the Kshatriyas. So here, for the protection of the Brahmanas, the thousand-legged supreme being created us. Okay, so here it is the Vishwarupa or the Purushasukta. In the Purushasukta, it is described that Brahma. Brahmanas are the face of the Lord, and the Kshatriyas are the shoulders of the Lord, and then Vaishyas, they are like a belly, and then the Sudras, they are like the legs of the Supreme Personality in the Virata form. So here, the thousand-legged Supreme Being created us, the Kshatriyas from his thousand arms, hence the Brahmanas are said to be his heart and Kshatriyas his arms. Okay, addressing the Brahmanas. So here that is the purpose of the Kshatriyas. They have to protect the Brahmanas. That is their duty, first of all. The first duty of a Kshatriya. And then further, whenever there is a cooperation between the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, when they protect each other, the Lord will protect both of them and everyone else in the country. So, ato hi anyo niyamatmanam brahmachatram cha rakshataha rakshati sma avyo devaha saiha sad asad atmakaha. The Lord is in the heart of all the living entities, and he is also sad asad atmakaha. He is the both cause and effect, and he is yet immutable, protects them through each other. That is how this is karmana dhaiva netra, everything going under divine supervision. And then later on, Swayambhu Manu says that by meeting you, O Kaddama Prajapati, all my doubts have been completely cleared out. You have reminded me of my duties. So this is once again, what it means to us. When we meet the saintly persons, they will give what is essential to us. So here, Tava Sandarshanadheva Chinnami Sarvasamsayaha. Just by looking at you, Tava Sandarshanadheva Chinnami Sarvasamsayaha, all my doubts have been completely cleared out. Yat Swayam Bhagavan Precha Dharmamaha Ririkshishoho. So we have described everything, clearly explained the duty of a king who desires to protect his subjects. Yat Swayam Bhagavan Precha Dharmamaha Ririkshishoho. And here king means he who protects his subjects. And then further he describes that it is not that much easy to meet saintly person and speak on anything like the most interested, that is transcendental knowledge. That is not easy for everyone. And people who have performed austerities and penances so far in their day-to-day life, they only will get an opportunity to meet the saintly persons. So here he mentions that Dischami Bhagavan Drishto Duddarshayo Akrutatmanam Dischya Padrajaha Sprustam Sheshnami Bhavataha Sivam. So he says, Duddarshayo Akrutatmanam. So it is my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by persons who have not subdued the mind and controlled the senses. I am in awe I am all the more fortunate to have touched with my head the blessed dust of your feet. Likewise, Swayambhu says to Kadama Prajapati here. So this is Padarajah Sprushtam. Discha Padarajah Sprushtam. A person, if he does not take the dust of the feet of a devotees or the pure Vaishnavas, then even though he is living, he is just comparing like a dead body in his lifetime. Jivachavo Bhagavatam na jatu matye balabetestu. Jivachavo Bhagavatam na jatu matye balabetestu. In his lifetime, he has not received dust of the Vaishnavas lotus feet. Then he is like a Jivachava. Okay, so that is here again. Savanakali sages mentioning here again. Swayambhu also mentioning. Discha pada rajah sprustam tishame bhavatah sivam. It is so auspicious. Likewise, and I am more fortunate. Like Swayambhu is mentioning, and then further he also says that by meeting you, all your mercy fell upon me. Likewise, I have heard you speaking all the duties of a king and also some katha, Bhagavad Katha also. So he is mentioning Distya Tvayanusistoham Krutasya Anugraho Mahan Apavrutaihi Karnarandreihi Justa Dishno Sitirgiraha. Justa Dishcho Sitirgiraha. I have heard the pure words. It is not, if we meet materialistic people, they speak so many things. Did you buy that property, this property, what diseases, what hospitals, where to buy, so many things, unnecessary things. But when we meet saintly person, they speak the purifying words. Otherwise, the material world is so much of contamination. We hear so much of nonsensical information. But when we hear the words of the saintly people, it will wash us. That's why Sangahateshu Adade Pradyaha Sangadosha Harahite. One has to pray that I want to have a devotees association. So here he is mentioning that Dishchatvaya Ansistoham Kratasya Anugraho Mahan Apavurtaihi Karnarandreihi Justadischa Sitirgiraha. I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. Okay, it's so beautiful he is describing. And then further he glorifying Kadama Prajapati. Now he is coming to the topic about his daughter, because he's so anxiety when the daughter who is of the marriageable age, then father is always anxiety to get a good son-in-law. So here he says that Tabhavan Bhitru Sneha Pariklishtatmano Mama Srotam Arhasi Dinasya Sravitam Krupaya Muni. So, O great sage, graciously be pleased to listen to the prayer of my humble self. For my mind is troubled by affection for my daughter. So this is, he is asking, so tumarhasi denasya shravitam kropaya muni. Denasya, denasya is like a kind of, I am very humble self in front of you. Likewise, shravitam kropaya muni, please listen my plea, because I am sneha pariklishta atmano mama duhitruhu. Duhitru is my daughter. Duhitru sneha. I have got so much affection to my daughter. Here, father is saying to Kadama Prajapati. Generally, fathers have got more affection towards their daughters, because once they leave the home, and father will feel so much of separation. Okay, then he is also mentioning about his daughter that she is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapada. Priyavrata Uttanapadoho swaseyam duhita mama anvityati patim yuktam vayahasila gunadibihi. And she is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age. Vayaha siyala gunadibihi. Character siyalaha guna adibihi. Good qualities. Anvityati patim yuktam. She is looking for suitable husband. This is what everyone has to look for. What kind of husband we need to have. So here Devhuti has already she has heard the qualities and character of Kadama Prajapati from Narada Muni. And she is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapada. They both are the devotees of the Lord. Priyavrata and Uttanapada. Swaseyam Duhita Mama. Duhita. So likewise, he is describing about Devhuti. And here, when after he says that my daughter is looking for a person with good qualities and character. Now, why I have come to you specifically? Then here he says that यदा तु भवतः शीला श्रुतरूप वयो गुणान् अशृणोन् नारदाद्येषा त्वया आसीत् कृतनिश्चया. My daughter, the moment she has heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you. He is also giving the reason why my daughter has fixed her mind upon you, O Kaddama Muni. Likewise, he mentions. And Narada Muni, he always glorifies the devotees of the Lord. So there Kaddama Muni, he has been meditating for 10,000 years to get a wife, good wife, and trying to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he is Narada Muni is to glorify the devotee. He goes and he speaks about the Lord and his devotees, how beautiful those relationships are. And then here further, Swayambhu Manu says that now my daughter Devhuti, she is suitable to you in all respects. She will be able to carry out the duties of your household. When you are performing some tapasya and austerities, she will help you in each and every activity. So this is in the later chapters again how woman should be looking like. She like a bhavaniva bhavam like a mother Parvati serves Lord Shiva. Likewise, she served her husband in such a way. That one we could see in the next chapters. So here he says that tat priti shad vidagre mam Dvijagra imam Shraddhaya Upuhrutam Maya Sarvatmana Anurupam Te Gruhamedushu Karmasu. Gruhamedushu Karmasu. A Grihastha carries out so many of activities. It's just like a Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So there are activities of Artha and Kama also. That is the Grihastha's activities. Now, my daughter will be able to assist you in all those things. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Mokshas, like that. Gruhamedishu Karmasu. And there are again, Prabhupada says, and or Sukadeva Goswami describes in a different, in second canto, first chapter there, Gruheshu Gruhamedinam. There are Srutabjadi in Rajendra, Drunam Santi Sahasrashaha. There are so many topics, but Gruhamedis, they do not take to the subjects of the transcendental topics of the Lord. They will always speak about always Adda and Kama only. That is actual Gruhamedi, who is not following the actual Vedic injunctions. Here, he is also mentioning that Dharma the Kama Mokshamsha. So, my daughter, Dehuti is going to assist you when you are performing your austerities. In each and every step, she will assist you. And then he mentions that that when even though a person is completely detached, when a object is coming to him, he should not reject. He should not reject. So, but this is nabhinandati, nadvesti, tasya prajna pratishthaha. So, a devotee of the Lord, he does not desire at the same time, nabhinandati, nadvesti, he also does not hate or reject. Whatever comes in front, he will accept it, and which is conducive to the anukulyena krishnanuselanam, which is conducive to the devotional service. Likewise, that is the nature of devotee. Here, Kadama Prajapati is of that character. Now he is reminding to deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable even for one who absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to sensual pleasure. So now we Budatasya hi kamasya prativado na sasyate api nirmukta sangasya kamaraktasya kim punaha. Now you're looking for a wife, suitable wife. For that one, you have performed penance for 10,000 years. So now the for whatever you have been meditated, that thing has come to you. So much less one addicted to sensual pleasure. You are looking for that is what to speak of such kind of person. So likewise here he mentioning, even though detached person itself, he would not reject. What to speak of a person who is expecting a wife. After saying that, he mentions that again, if you reject now and later on, if you still search for another wife, and then you may be that pride will be seeing its failure later on. यवुज्जितम् अनादृत्य केनाशम् अभियाच्यते चीयते तद्यशः स्पीतं मानस्य अवज्ञया हतः मानस्य अवज्ञया हतः. Then your respect will be so this way you will lose your reputation. You will lose your reputation. You have meditated for getting married to get a good wife, but once it comes, if you reject, then your respect will be downgraded. Likewise, he mentions, Ya Bujjita Manadrucha Kinasham Abhiyachate Kshete Tad Yashaha Spitam. This is Kshete Tad Yashaha Spitam. Yashaha Tad Yashaha. And then what happens? So your fame will be reduced, and then Manasha Avadhyaya Hataha. Manasha. This is the respect also. And his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others. Other people will look at him and point and laugh. And then further he describes that now you did not accept this Naistika Brahmacharyam. So you have got a vow that you will be accepting, because you have heard from your father that your father asked you to go and expand the progeny. You have humbly accepted that order, and now you are going to carry it. For that purpose, you have meditated. So he says, Aham tva shrunavam vidbhan vivahaddham samujjitam atastvam upakurvanaha prattam pratigruhanami. So, oh wise man, I heard that you are prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy. So this is now Swayambhu has put all his request. Now it is a turn for the Kadma Muni, how he is going to respond. So here definitely he says that, O king, I definitely accept a wife. I definitely accept a wife, and especially your daughter, Devahuti, because she has not been, the word is given to anyone else. She is still under the protection of the father. She is a young girl under the protection of the father. The word is not given to anyone. So, our marriage will happen according to the Vedic system. Adyo Vaivahiko Vidihi, he says. And then further he says that further to glorify the beauty of Devahuti. So whenever we accept the wife, at that time glorifying the beauty of the wife, it is natural. That is common. So yeah, and also it will awaken the love in the heart of both of the husband and also wife. He says that these are very beautiful shlokas. Kamaha sabhoya naradevate syaha putyaha samamnai vidau pratitaham kayet kayeva chetanayam nadhriyeta swaiva kancha kshyapatim iva shriyam swaiva kancha kshyapatim iva shriyam. So let your daughter's desire for marriage, which is recognized in the Vedic scriptures, be fulfilled. Who would not accept her hand? She is so beautiful that by her bodily luster alone, she excels the beauty of her ornaments. Swaiva kancha kshapatim iva shriyam. He is glorifying Deva with his beauty. And then he gives one example also how beautiful she is. Yam harmya prushte kodadangri shobham vikriditim kandaka vipalakshim visvavasuhu nyapatat swad vimanad vilokya samoha vimoda chetaha. So once upon a time, Viswavasu, the Gandharva, when he was going on in his airplane, and when at that time Devhuti was playing on the terrace with the ball, and he looked at the beauty of Devhuti and he fell from his airplane. So likewise, he is glorifying. Yam Hadma Prustik Kodadangri Shobham Vikiritim Kanduka Vifalakshim. Her eyes is just going towards the ball. How the ball is when she was playing. At that time, Viswavasu, he was Vimoda Chetaha. So, and then further glorifying the beauty of Devahuti, he also mentions Tam Pradayantim Lalana Lalamam Asevita Shri Charanaihi Adrushtam Vatsa Manurucha Padahaswasaram Konanumanyeta Buddho Abhiyatam. So he describes what wise men would not welcome her, the very ornament of womanhood, the beloved daughter of the Swayambhu Manu and sister of Uttanapada. Those who have not worshipped the gracious feet of the goddess of fortune cannot even perceive her. Yet she has come of her own accord to seek my hand. So this is again good praise. So here he is praising the qualities of Devahuti. And then further, he also mentioned that I'm going to accept your daughter Devahuti on one condition. That is, what is that condition? So once she begets children through me, and then I'll be accepting devotional service, which was described by Lord Vishnu, which is free from envy, because it is acceptable by all the personalities. He says, Ato bhajasye samayena sadbhim yavat teju bibhraya आदात्मनो मे अतो धर्मान पारमहंस मुख्यान शुक्ल प्रोक्तान बहुमन्ये अविंस्तान. The Shukla Proktan, it is spoken but described by Lord Vishnu. Shukla Proktan. Bahumanye Avimshran. Bahumanye, it is accepted by most perfect human beings. Avimshran, it is free from envy. So this is Kadama Prajapati says about his desire. So after Devahuti begets children through me, I'll be taking leave or engage myself in the devotional service. So what it means to us when we are in the Grihastha. So we have to think when we come into the age of 50 years, then children they might have grown up. They will be able to protect their family and take the responsibilities, and the parents, they can enter into the devotional service to dedicate to Krishna. So here again he further describes that why we have to take the devotional service, because the Supreme Personality of God, he is the highest authority. Whatever he says, we have to follow. यतो अभद् विश्वमिदं विचित्रं संस्थास्यत यत्र च वावतिष्ठते प्रजापतीनां पतिरेष मह्यं परं प्रमाणं भगवान् अनन्तः. This is param pramanam Bhagavan Anantaha. He is the highest authority for me. He is the unlimited supreme personality of Godhead. So for us also, Krishna is the Jagat Guru. Whatever he speaks, it is the highest authority, from whom this wonderful creation emanates and in whom its sustenance and dissolution rest. He is the origin of all Prajapatis, the personalities meant to produce living entities in this world. Okay? Likewise, Kardama Prajapati, he is giving the reasons, and also it is completely free from enviousness. So these conversations of Swayambhu Manu and Kardama, Maitreya Muni speaking to Vidura. And then what has happened after that? So here Maitreya Muni coming one conversation, one layer outside. So Maitreya and Vidura. Maitreya speaks that. So after he says, Kardama Prajapati face, he closes his eyes and thinking of the Lord. At that time, Devahuti looks the face of Kardama, and she feels so much of blissfulness. Likewise, Savugradhanvan Nideva Abhashe Asitya Tushnim Arvindanabham Diyopagruhnan Smitashobhitena Mukena Cheto Lulubhe Devahutyaham. This is Savugradhanvan. Iyadeva avbhashe. So here, O great warrior Vidura, the sage Kadama said this much only. Iyadeva avbhashe. Asitya tushnim arvindhanabham. Then he became silent. Asitya tushnim arvindhanabham, thinking of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has a lotus on his navel, arvindhanabham. Diopagruhan Smitashobhitena. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of Devhuti. He's just closing his eyes and then thinking of Lord Vishnu. Because that is the closest and the topmost relationship, sambandha, between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. As soon as he thinks of the Lord, he feels so much of happiness. And when he is smiling with that happiness, Devhuti caught the that smile. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of Devhuti, who began to meditate upon the great sage. Diopagruhan Smitashobhitena Mukena Chetu Lulubhe Devhutyaha. Lulubhe. So Devhuti got attracted to that smile and she started meditation upon that great sage. Okay, again, how the bride is getting attracted to the husband, would-be husband. And then further, Maitreya Muni is speaking about here what is the intention of a Devhuti and the Manu, the father. Father must know the desire of a daughter. And without that is yata silam yata ruchihi. So know the taste and also decision of a daughter first. It is not that blindly take the daughter and give it to other person whom she doesn't like. So that is not accepted as per the Vedic injunctions. Father should know the heart of the daughter, and accordingly he has to select the yataselam yataruchihi, the suitable husband for the daughter. So anudhyatva vyavasitam mahishadduhituhu sputam tasmai guna ganadhyaya dadu tulyam prahashitaha. After having unmistakenly known the decision of the queen as well as that of Devhuti, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, whose host of virtues was equal by hers. Okay, so here Devhuti and Kadama Prajapati, they both have got good qualities, equal by hers. And here, Swayambhuman also consulting his wife when he is taking decision to give Devhuti to Kadama Muni. And then he says, after he has given Devhuti to Kadama Muni, at that time, the mother, Satarupa, what she is doing. Satarupa Maharatni Paribarhan Mahadhanan Dampatyoho Paridhat Pritya Bhoshavasaha Parichadan. And Empress Satarupa lovingly gave most valuable presents and suitable for the occasion, such as jewelry, clothes, and household articles in dowry to the bride and bridegroom. She gave all these things to Devhuti. It is a dowry is not a bad thing. It is for her child's sake. She is giving all these things, the comforts. Okay, and then further, it is describing that now Swayambhu Manu is going to feel so much of separation. What he is going to do. Pratam duhitaram samrak sadrukshaya gatavyadaha upaguhya cha bahubhyam outkancha udmatita ashayaha. Now, pratam duhitaram samrat. Now, he is one of the anxiety that to get a good husband for that is now relieved. Pratam duhitaram samrat sadrukshaya gatavyadaha. Got no more vyada. That is now past. Now, she has got a good husband. Now he is feeling another thing. It is separation. Upaguhya bahubhyam outkancha udmaditashayah. With so much of affection to his daughter, he is embracing her. Embraced his affectionate daughter with both his arms. his mind agitated by the feelings of separation. It is the feelings of a father. And then what happens in the feelings of the father? He just hugs her and then kisses on top of the head of daughter, and then, oh my dear daughter, you're leaving, you're here. So generally when he's sending the daughter to someone, it is the so much of loving and affection words. Here he's exhibiting all those symptoms here. अश्लिक्नु वंशत तद्विरहम मुंचन बाष्प कलाम मुहुहु मुंचन बाष्प kalam. He is wetting, pouring the water from his eyes on top of her head. Bashp kalam muhuhu. Asinchad amba vatseti. Oh my dear daughter, oh my dear daughter. Oh, likewise he cries. Netrodaihi duhituhu shikaha. Netrodaihi. So, and wetting the head of his daughter, drenching his daughter's head as he cried, my dear mother, my dear daughter. Likewise, Swayambhuvanu feeling so much of separation from Devhuti. And then further, later on, that part is done. Now, after those activities are done, Swayambhuvanu taking permission from Kardamuni, he is leaving from that part. Amantram tam munivaram anujñataha sahanugaha. After taking permission from Kardamuni, he is coming with, along with sa anugaha. Anugaha means everyone, the followers of the king. Anujñataha sahanugaha prataste ratamaruhya sabariha supram nrupaha. And along with his wife and everyone, sabariha supram nrupaha, he is going to his kingdom. Ubayoho rishikulyayaha saraswatyaha surodasoho rishinam upshantanam paschennashrama sampadaha. And all that hermitages and the Saraswati river, that is Tadbhai Bindusarama Saraswatya Pariplutam Punyam Sivamrudyalam Maharshi Gana Sevitam. Maharshi Gana Sevitam. That is Saraswati river. Everything it is so auspicious. Many people. This Upayoha Rishikulyayaha. And every side, both sides of that path, all these rishis, they're all standing when these are king and the entourage is going. Rishinam Upshantanam Pashyan Ashrama Sampadaha. That is the opulence of that hermitages. Okay. And then further, Tamayantam Abhiprecha Brahmavatta Prajahapatim. When he enters into his kingdom, which is Brahmavatta. Brahmavatta is the place where Swayambhuvanu, he has made that one his capital, Bahishmati. And then that kingdom is Brahmavatta, where even Prithu Maharaj also ruled. And also it comes in between the Hastinapura and the Dwaraka, Brahmavatta. So tam ayantam abhipritya Brahmavatta prajahapatin gita samsiti vaditraihi pratyadiyuhu prahashitaha. And all these people in the kingdom, they have invited the king. Again, this is a custom, inviting the king with so much of happiness and with auspicious prayers. Likewise, they have invited a king again back. And that kingdom is called Barshmati Namapuri Sarva Sampat Samanvita Nyapatan Yatra Romani Yajnasyangam Vidunvataha Kushaha Kashasta Evasan Shashwad Harita Vachasaha Rishyo Yehi Parabhavya Yajnagnan Yajnimejere. There, that place where the hair of the Varahadeva has fallen, and that hair, it has grown as a Kusha grass, Kasa grass. Kusha is the one which is used in the yajnas when we are performing any home ceremonies. At the time, Brahmanas bring the Kusha grass. And also Kasha, it is another one, little bit longer. It is used to prepare the mats. That is Kasha grass, and that mat is used to sit on top of it to perform all the sacrifices, penances, and so many other worshipable things. Kusha grass. And then here, Swayambhuvanu, using those things, he has worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those are grown, the grasses are grown from the hair of his body of the Vishnu. Now he is worshipping the same Lord with those grasses. Drishyoye Parabhav Yajna Jnan Yajnimi Jere. Likewise, he spent all this, and then how he had Kushakasha Mayim Barhihi Astirya Bhagavan Manuhu Ayad Yajna Purusham Labda Sthanam Yato Bhuvam. And here that place, in order to rule this kingdom, when Swayambhu Manu asked Brahma, Brahma was contemplating at the time, there was no earth. And then when Brahma was contemplating that how to lift the earth from the water. At that time, Garbhodak Sai Vishnu, as a tiny small uh, living entity, fall from his nose and then grown very big, gigantic later on in the sky. And he jumped into the water, lifted the earth, and then later Brahma gave that earth to Swayambhu Manu to rule and expand the progeny. Now, Swayambhu Manu with gratitude, now he is worshipping that Vishnu. This is Aija Yajna Purusham Labdhastanam Yato Bhavam. By the mercy of the Lord, he got that place. And then he is worshipping. And Bashmati Nama Vibhudyam Nirvishya Samavasat. Tasyam Pravishto Bhavanam Tapatri Vinashanam. And he is entering into his palace. And in the city, in his capital city, Bashmati Nama Vibhudyam Nirvishya Samavasat. Tasyam Pravishto Bhavanam Tapatri Vinashanam. And that palace, it is completely free from all kinds of miseries. It says that that is, having entered the city of Bashmati, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his palace, which was filled with an atmosphere that eradicated the three miseries of material existence. And what he did within that palace? Sabaryaha saprajaha kaman bubuji anya avirodataha sangeyaman satkirtihi satribihi suragayakaihi pratibhusheshu anabaddena hrudha shurunvan harehe kataha. So along with wife and children, every day morning. So avirodataha, without any enviousness, without being disturbed by any unwanted principles like that. No more obstacles. So in that, without any obstacles, Sangiyamana Satkirtim Sastribihi Suragayakaihi. So here it is very beautifully described. Emperor Swayambhumanu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfilled his set desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles contrary to the process of religion. Okay, and then celestial musicians and their wives sang in chorus about the pure reputation of the emperor. This is Sangiyamana Satkirtihi Sastribihi Suragayakaihi. And early in the morning, every day, he is to listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a loving heart. This is Pratibhusheshu Anubadhena, without missing, every day morning, Anubadhena, Pradashunuvan Harehe Kataha. By his full heart, loving heart, with a loving heart. Pradashunuvan Harehe Kataha. This is the beautiful part. And then what has been engaged here, even though he is engaging in all these things, hearing and along with his subjects, but enjoying all the opulences of the king, he never ever fall down. That Nishnatam Yoga Mayasu, Nishnatam Yoga Mayasu. He is perfect. He is completely having everything in his control. Nishnatam Yoga Mayasu, Munim Swayam Bhumanam. He is also comparing like a Munim, like a Muni. Who is the Muni means is a mental speculator. But here sometimes who is always contemplating on the transcendental knowledge. Munim Swayam Bhumanam, thinking of the Lord. And Yad Abrimshitum Bhogaha, Nasekuhu Bhagavad Param. Even though he is enjoying all kinds of Bhogaha. But Nasekuhu, he has never fall down because he is observing the devotional service, Bhagavat Param. So Tad Buddhayaha, Tat Parayanaha, Tanishtaha, Tat Parayanaha, Gachanti, Apunaravrityam Jnani Dhuta Kalmashaha. A person who is completely observed. Tad Buddhayaha, Tanishtaha, Tat Parayanaha, Tadatmanaha. Everything in the um, service of the Lord, devotional service. The Swayambhu was saintly king, although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna consciousness atmosphere. This is what our Krishna consciousness movement is teaching the entire world, but not other things. It is not a kind of religious thing. It is a kind of a science. How to enjoy the life, though one is engaging in the material happiness. So not unwanted, like bad habits and sinful activities. As long as he is working, that is fine. Come home, engaging in devotional service or engage all the family members. This is Krishna consciousness. Always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious atmosphere. Okay, this is our motto. This is the principle of Krishna consciousness. Swayambhu he is living like that. He was a Krishna conscious. And then what he has done as part of the Krishna conscious activities? अयातयामाः तस्यासन् यामाः स्वान्तरयापनाः शृण्वतो ध्यायतो विष्णोः कुर्वतो ब्रुवतः कथाः. Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life consisting of a Manvantara era was not spent in vain, since he ever engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord. This is Shrunutaha Jayato Vishnoho Kurvataha Bruvataha Kataha. See, so many different activities. Because he is engaged, he was not spent in vain all this entire his Manvantara, 71 yoga cycles. That one he describes that Saevam Swantaram Ninye Yuganam Ekasaptatim Vasudeva Prasangena Paribhota Gatitrayaha. Maitreya Muni glorifies Saevam Swantaram Ninye, and he passed all his time. Swantaram Ninye Yuganam Ekasaptatim. And he lasted 71 cycles of the four ages. This is 71 yoga cycles. Always thinking of Vasudeva Prasangena, and always engaged in matters regarding Vasudeva. Thus, he transcended the three destinations. Okay, so likewise, Paribhota Gatitrayaha. Trayaha means tapatrayas. Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adi Adhyatmik. Now, Paribhota Gatitrayaha. So now he has transcended all those three miseries. And also there are again Swapna and Jagruti, Susupshu. These are three stages. Swapna, Jagruti, Shishuptushu. Those are also three stages. He will be absorbed in the transcendental situation. That is also three stages of the life. And then further in the 37th shloka, it is described when one is engaged in such a way, then he does not feel pangs of the material life. So many people go through different kinds of miseries, but a person in the devotional life, he will never ever experience those things. Though he is going through some things, hunger, thirst, those things, but they do not disturb him. शरीरमानस दिव्य वैयाश ये च मानुषाः भौतिकाश कथं क्लेशा बाधन्ते हरिसंश्रयम्. How can he says that katam klesha bhautikasha katam klesha, how can any miseries would disturb him when a person is engaged in the devotional service? He is harisamshrayam. अशेषं क्लेशमं विदित्ते गुणानुवाद श्रवणं मुरारेः किं वा पुनः चरणारविन्द परागस्य वरित्रात्मलब्धा. Just by hearing the Krishna Katha itself, he will be relieved from Ashesham Klesha Samam Vidatte Gunanuvada Shravana Murarehe. That is just by hearing Krishna Katha. What to speak of a person who is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, because he is practically engaging his mind, his speech, and also his body. By hearing itself, only one sense, by hearing itself. Ashesham Klesam Vidatte Gunanuvada Shravana Murarehe Kimba Punaha Tat Charanaravinda Paragaseva Retiratmalabdha. This is Paragaseva Retiratmalabdha. He is so much attached to the devotional service. Just by what to speak of the glories of a person who is engaged in the devotional service. Here Swayambhu Manu, he is like that. How can those miseries would affect him? Sarira Manasa Divya Vayashaye Cha Manushaha Bodhikasha Katam Klesha Bhadante Harisamsrayam. Wow, Vidra, how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, mind, and nature, and other men and living creatures? So these all miseries come through the three material modes of nature. And a person who is engaged in the devotional service, he will transcend these three material modes of nature. Mam chayu abhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati chechan brahma bhoyaya kalpate. Krishna says, whoever is engaged in Mam Chayo Avibicharena, Avibichara. It is not that I want to go that God and that goddess, this God, they for different benedictions, or this God is powerful, he will give me this money, I will go to that God, he will bless me like that. It is not Vibichara Bhakti. It is Mam Chayo Avibichara Bhaktena. Only Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi Eke Kurunandana. Just only one point. Lotus feet of Krishna. That's all. Nothing else. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Eko Mantraha Tasya Namanyani Karma Apyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. Only one Shastra, Bhagavad Gita. And only one Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. And only one mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And only one activity, karma, that is, this is devotional service to Krishna. That is how he is mentioning here. How can persons completely under the shelter of the Lord Krishna devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, mind, nature, and other men and living creatures? It's not possible. He is always transcending. This is also Asevayayam Prakrite Gunanam Jnanena Vairagya Vijrumbitena Yogena Maya Pitaya Bhaktya Mam Pratyagatmanam Iha Avurunde. A person who does not serve this material nature, then he will attain me. Mam Pratyagatmanam Iha Avurunde. In this material life, he is called Jivan Mukta. He is called Jivan Mukta. Yogena Maya Pitaya Bhaktya. Mai arpitaya cha bhaktya mam pratyagatmanam iha avurunde. Then what he needs to do? Asevayayam prakritir gunanam. He should not serve the material nature. How it is? It's just as simply engaging yourself in the devotional service. Then it is one in everything, all in one. It will cover all aspects of the human life. This is called सवै पुंसं परो धर्मो यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे अहैतुकी अप्रियता ये आत्मा सुप्रसीदति ये आत्मा सुप्रसीद. That particular person, he will be completely satisfied in his life. And then further he says, Maitreya saying what he has done further. Swayambhav Manu is also one of the Mahajanas, and he says, Yah prushto munibihi praha dharma nana vidhan shubhan nrunam varna shramanam cha sarvabhuta hitaha sada. He is answering to the questions that are questioned by the munis. Yah prushto munibihi praha. And then Swayambhu Manu spoke. What he spoke? Dharman, nana vidhan, shubhan, different kinds of dharma. What are Dan Dharman, Raj Dharman, Bhagavad Dharman, Stri Dharman? There are different kinds of dharmas. Samasaya, again, Bhishma Dev gives different kinds of dharmas to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Okay, so here Swayambhu Manu also speaking these dharmas, Nana Vidhan, Shubhan, all auspicious things. And for what? Nrunam Varnashramanam cha. Nrunam, for the human beings who are in the Varnashramanam cha. People in the Varnashrama Dharma. So these are different duties, and he is Sarvabhuta Hitaha Sada. He is always giving Sarvabhuta Hitaha, friendly to all the living entities. In reply to questions asked by certain sages, Swayambhu Manu, out of compassion for all living entities, he taught the diverse sacred duties of men in general and different varnas and ashramas. It all comes from the Manushmriti. So that's why he is one of the Mahajans. Like Bhishma Dev gave instructions, Sukadev Goswami gave instructions, and Yamadharmaraja, Swayambhu Manu, this is Swayambhu Narada Shambhu. Can anyone say that one? It is a famous shloka.
Kumara Kapila Manu Swayambhuva Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahalada Janako Bhishma Bali Vaivasakir Vayam.
Very beautiful, Mataji. Okay, so that is how he is also one of the Mahajans. He gave all the instructions to human beings. And then Maitreya Muni concluding that this life of Swayambhu Manu, it is glorious. So now I have described all these things. I will now explain about the glories of Devahuti. So likewise, he starts. Etat adirajasya manocharitam adbhutam varnitam varnaniyasya tadopatyam tadapatyodayam shrunu. Etat adirajasya manocharitam adbhutam. It is adbhutam, wonderful pastime. He has spent all of his lifetime in Krishna consciousness. Okay? Manocharitam adbhutam. Varnitam varnaniyasya tadapatyodayam shrunu. I have described enough. This whose reputation is worthy of description. Now please hear as I speak of the flourishing of his daughter Devahuti. With that one, chapter 22 is completed. It is especially meant for the Grihasthas, especially there are so many takeaway points, what they need to do, how to associate with the Brahmanas, and how to look after the intentions of his daughter. And once he gives, how to show the affections, giving dowry to the daughter. And then once he's relieved from those duties, how he needs to engage in the later part of his life. Okay, different takeaway points. I stop there. I request the devotees, if you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything or anything which is striking your mind, kindly ask or kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, there are no questions. Then we shall conclude our session for tonight and we'll see you next Friday. Okay, thank you so much. वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय Thank you Prabhuji, very nice class. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very good.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.